Ready? Good morning. Welcome, Board of Directors meeting, SLDC, February 19th. Laura, may I please have a roll call to order?
Sure. Director Arnold, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Here.
Director Gilbert,
Here.
Director Koenig,
Present.
Director McBride, Director McBride.
Like him.
Present.
Oh, thank you. Alderwoman Sonia,
Present.
Director Spencer,
Present.
Director Young, and Chair Halls.
Present. Thank you, Laura. Next, we have the minutes of January 22nd, regular board meeting. May I have a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Director McBride,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonia,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you so much, Laura.
Welcome.
Next up, we have resolutions for approval, beginning with Resolution 26, SLDC 1061, authorizing the expenditure for the operation of a Technology Innovation Center and Incubator, T-Rex, and the extension of a memorandum of understanding. Steve?
Good morning. As stated, this is a resolution that authorizes the expenditure of up to $50,000 each year for the next 2 years to continue funding the Technology Innovation Center and Incubator, also known as T-Rex, at 911 Washington Avenue in downtown St. Louis, and also an extension of the MOU between our two organizations. Also provided in your resolution is some quick background on this partnership. As many of you know, SLDC was a founding member of T-Rex starting back in 2011. And since then, they have been a key partner and played a key role in the establishment of the ever-growing geospatial ecosystem here in St. Louis and supporting the entrepreneurship ecosystem as well. And it has been one of the great success stories of downtown. And since the last time I stood before this board to renew this partnership, we lost a titan in the ecosystem of Patty Hagan. She was critical in this work in establishing T-Rex, creating the first ever intermediary agreement with the NGA here in St. Louis, standing up Moonshot Labs and Geosaurus. And anybody who has been in the space, knows the collaborative spirit that T-Rex carries. And the value that it brings to those that come to St. Louis looking to start up a business. So again, it's a critical partnership. Our staff has had a great working relationship with T-Rex, and we look forward to continuing with that. I've also invited the new president and CEO, Jesse Winters, here today to allow him to introduce himself to you guys and maybe provide a few quick updates on the activities that T-Rex is up to. And then after that, we'll answer any questions you may have. So Jesse, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, y'all. Thank you for the time today. Steve, thank you for that introduction. And thank you really sincerely for previous support and the way that the SLDC has truly leaned into the growth of technology and really supporting those entrepreneurs and founders in St. Louis. I need to move a little closer to the mic. Thank you. I've been accused of being a quiet talker to begin with. But thank you. Sincerely appreciate the true partnership that we've had with SLDC. In my time over the last year as the president and CEO of T-Rex, I have gotten to learn both the organization as well as the reputation that my predecessor built for the organization. And it's my privilege and honor to continue that. As we continue to grow the organization, continue to create more impact in St. Louis, we are leaning into creating new opportunities, new programs, new resources for those founders in St. Louis so they can go out, continue to hire new individuals to have high paid, very secure tech jobs. These are jobs that not only support folks who have great technical expertise, but can also be jobs that support folks who don't have things like a high school diploma. These are jobs that can really make a massive impact on St. Louis. And it's our privilege to be able to support those founders. Some examples of programs that we've been standing up and doing now. We recently launched a program called Founder Framework, which has had 80 applicants to it. We initially ballparked the applicants that we were hoping for at around 40. So double the amount of applicants we expected. We brought 40 people into this cohort style accelerator program. We've got people from all over St. Louis coming to downtown to build their business now. They're located out of T-Rex and building something within the city of St. Louis. It's fantastic to see that, and I love seeing that. But these are folks who can really scale up if we continue to grow and nurture them and have that economic impact on St. Louis. Other programs that we're continuing to continue to support the NGA and the geospatial workforce in the greater St. Louis area as well, and continue to focus and lean into the geospatial aspect and the strength that we have already here in St. Louis. So with that, I'll open it up for questions to see if there's anything I can answer.
Any questions? No? Wonderful.
All right.
Very exciting. Thank you very much. All right. May I please have a motion? Steve, do you have anything else?
That was it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. May I please have a motion to approve Resolution 26, SLDC 1061?
So move.
Second, McBride.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Director Gilbert.
Aye.
Director Koenig.
Aye.
Director McBride.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Alderwoman Sonia.
Aye.
Director Spencer.
Aye.
And Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you, Lauren. Next up is Resolution 26, SLDC 1062. And that is authorizing the creation of a standing governance committee for the SLDC Board of Directors. I'm going to go through the resolution briefly. National best practice for nonprofit entities includes operating a governance committee to periodically review corporate and governance procedures. The governance committee shall be responsible for the following non-exclusive list: monitoring and maintaining board-wide adherence to governance best practices, conducting an annual board self-assessment, assessing SLDC's governance needs by periodically reviewing the board size, strategic composition, and committee structure, and recommend changes as needed, reviewing and recommending changes to the SLDC bylaws, onboarding and training new and existing directors, providing ongoing governance training and support, and identifying governance committee goals to track committee progress. Do I have any questions? Okay, thank you. If not, I would like to ask for a motion to approve Resolution 26, SLDC 1062.
So move,
Second.
McBride. Request previous role.
Second.
Just need to act on that one, Chair. Just
Pardon?
he requested previous roles, so you just need to follow.
Okay.
Follow through.
Is there any objection to previous rule?
No.
Hearing none, motion passes.
Thank you. Resolution 26, SLDC 1063, authorizing contributions to Slate and Rankin Technical College totaling $150,000 in support of the Youth Build Program grant cycle starting July 1, 2026. Stephanie?
Good morning, Nancy, Otis, and members of the board. Thanks so much for having me here today. As you know, SLDC has been a longstanding supporter of the Youth Build program, which is a workforce development program primarily funded with grants from the U.S. Department of Labor. Through Youth Build's pre-apprenticeship model, 16 to 24-year-olds who otherwise face barriers to employment are provided with education, training, and leadership development opportunities. The students split their time between these programs, working on their education, their high school diploma or equivalent, and also receiving hands-on workforce training. Rankin Technical College, with over 100 years of experience in the technical and building trades, provides the training. And St. Louis Public Schools works with Slate to identify and engage with the eligible young students for the program. Slate also connects Youth Build students with SLDC and other community partners for substantive training and professional development opportunities. With your approval, SLDC will enter into funding agreements to provide, again, as mentioned, $150,000 to match contributions for the Youth Build 2025 funding opportunity, which will run for 40 months, beginning in July of 2026. $125,000 of that will go to Rankin for construction and material costs. $25,000 will go to Slate for programmatic support, including transportation and leadership training. We're excited to continue our commitment to Youth Build as that program connects young adults with careers in construction, the trades, and other sectors while fostering community and economic development. This grant match will be funded from SLDC's general revenue, specifically earned interest revenue on our ARPA deposits. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Stephanie, I have a quick question, and maybe you said this and I missed it, but do you know approximately how many participants are in the program annually with Youth Build?
We can certainly follow up on that. The administration of the program is run through Slate, and they do have an open application process where students can apply for the program through partnership with St. Louis Public Schools. I can certainly get more information about the specifics. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you would know this, but is there a cost per training that's kind of thrown around?
Oh, that's interesting. I do not know. I can certainly look into that and get back to you with more details about the specific program.
Okay.
And we can bring back, if you'd like, we can bring back folks from Slate who are more actively involved in the administration of it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Stephanie, thanks so much.
Thank you.
May I please have a motion to approve Resolution 26 SLDC 1063?
So move.
Second.
Director Arnold,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Director McBride,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonia,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye. Next up, last but not least, Resolution 26 SLDC 1064. Lorna Alexander.
Good morning, directors. Resolution 26 SLDC 1064 is requesting approval for funding of additional community enhancement and facade improvement awards under the North St. Louis Small Business and Nonprofit Grant Program. This resolution has an amended Exhibit A that I would like to provide to the board and ask our council how we amend this resolution with the amended Exhibit A. The reason Exhibit A is being amended is that all applicants had until 5 p.m. yesterday, who were still in the running to receive funds and be brought before the board today, to submit all required documentation for their application to move forward to this funding phase. And so in your board packet sent out over the weekend, you had an Exhibit A. From that list, 3 businesses have been removed because they did not meet the deadline requirement, and 1 business was added. So that's the reason why we have the amended Exhibit A. Do I just? On the amended Exhibit A, there are 3 projects, community enhancement projects that previously received approval from the board, and we're coming today to ask for increased funding for those projects. There's one, round one, as we are calling them, that were the conditional awards, facade project that we've added to the list today. All other projects are the round 2 reconsidered projects, and they're reconsidered projects because there were mistakes made in their scoring, whether it was the geocoding of their address or the wrong address, or their proximity to parks or schools that might have given them additional incentive points and a passing score of 65 or above. And so for the round 2 projects, there are 7 major ones, community enhancement projects that Karan Hanks of my staff will present to you. And there are 12 in total of the facade projects that Jackie Robertson will present to you. Both Jackie and Karan are the project managers for these projects and have been working closely with the businesses so that they get all their documentation in and we can verify that they do have a feasible project and they've been vetted that they could meet the expenditure deadline of September 30th. So unless you have some overall general questions, I would then turn it over to Karan about the program or where we are, how we got here.
We've talked about this over the years, but it's a very complicated program, and it might be helpful to the audience and the board to talk about how the city's protecting ourselves, about dispersing, about title work, permits, just the whole process and the expenditure of the ARPA funds by the date as compared to occupancy permits and completing of construction.
Right, thank you. Thank you for that. So the projects that have received funding, they're all required to have a dispersing agent. And the dispersing fees for that agent can be part of their development budget. So all of the projects do have a dispersing agent. There are 4 legal instruments that we will close with the businesses on prior to dispersing any funds. And those are a beneficiary agreement. They're beneficiaries saying they will receive their project amount. There is a dispersing agreement that the dispersing agent must sign as well. There is a deed of trust, and there is a Laura. Is it Laura, the 4th one? Yes, the Laura, the land restriction agreement. So those 4 documents will be signed and executed before any funds leave SLDC. The dispersing agreement speaks to that 50% of the funds, so if your project received $100,000, 50% of the funds will then be forwarded to the dispersing agent. And this will help with the expenditure of the funds more quickly. And once they get to the dispersing agent and say the contractor has completed putting in the windows, they submit their invoice to the dispersing agent. The dispersing agent is then tasked with getting all the lien waivers and submitting that invoice to us. We then will have our construction inspector go out to look to see that the windows are completed. It is an inspection, not a code inspection, that the windows are put in. Once our inspector verifies that, we at SLDC, myself included, sign off on that payoff, send it back to the dispersing agent, and they will then disperse the funds to the contractor. None of the funds will go to the businesses directly. So, and general contractors who have subs, the funds will go to the subs directly. So the general contractor's not getting all of the money either.
It's a reimbursement, which is, I think, really a key part of this.
Well, I wouldn't call it a reimbursement. The work is completed. Our funds are out there to pay for that completed work.
Okay, yeah. So on the major ones that were sent over the weekend, it seems like it's the same list, or maybe I'm not seeing where the corrections were made. What are the 3 businesses that are no longer
They were not the major ones. There were
Oh,
3 facades.
facade grant. Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you. Also, just in general with the financing, are we expecting these businesses to do tax abatement? Are we expecting them to have the additional financing and the loan commitments? In some of the documentation, there were letter of intent. And in fact, in one of them, I think the school, it was asking for an additional $1 million in equity. So all of that has been confirmed and we're comfortable that those.
So with the school in particular, their original recommended award was $1 million. As we went through all of the applications, the cap on the award amount from round one, and we had to follow that same method. The cap on the award amount was based on what at that time, so we're talking 2 years ago, whether or not your application looked like we were confident that you would expend the funds by September 30th. So where we originally awarded Colors Learning Center $1 million, she came in, she's a developer. She has her own daycare now. She has a wonderful program. She met with Otis. She met with our construction manager. She brought in her plans and her drawings. And we all felt comfortable that if additional $1 million would make her project work and the services that it would bring to North St. Louis, which she is committed to, we gave her the additional $1 million. That's the request you saw in her packet.
Okay.
As far as all of the others to get to this point to be before you for funding recommendation, they had to all submit letters of commitment for all other funding sources. The initial board bill for this grant indicated that the business had to leverage funds. The revised board bill does not. So there are some projects where the business is not many, leveraging funds. All our funds are going in.
Yeah, that was clear. Thank you.
Can I just also add that I probably should have kicked this off by just thanking Lorna and her staff and all of the rest of SLDC staff for all of the work and diligence that they have gone through to get us to this point. And as many of you know, this entire program had a cloud over it for many reasons. And so our goal was to bring it back to make sure that everyone felt comfortable that all the due diligence has been completed and that we are comfortable with the fact that these projects can happen and that there aren't any obvious conflicts of interest. Okay.
Thank you, Otis. Lorna, maybe you said this, but I want to be clear that in order to comply with ARPA regulations, SLDC money in all events will be dispersed first out on these projects.
Yes, so of course, we're close to our September 30th deadline, our expenditure deadline that the city has imposed. And so Otis and I are meeting bi-weekly with city offices charged with ensuring that that will happen. And so in our conversations and helping the businesses set up their budgets, especially with the ARPA funds, we've required that ARPA funds be on line items that will go out first. The work will be done first and the funds will be expended. Not like, say, block grant funds, home partnership funds, other federal funding that's been around for years. With ARPA funds, you do not have to have a completed project by the expenditure deadline. The funds have to be expended. So SLDC is ensuring we will have the funds expended, but we will continue to monitor the project through construction completion.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thanks so much.
I do have a question just to help resolve something in my head. I'd like to understand a little bit more about the leveraged commitment funds that are mentioned on here. Can you just explain what that is? I did hear that it's not required, so I understand that. However, on a lot of the presentations, it will say, leverage commitment funds NA, but then there is a highlighted portion of the project where it says this, project owner has made a leverage commitment. So I'm trying to understand that discrepancy.
So with the construction budgets going forward right now, some of these projects, the owners have initiated on their own by the time they came to us.
Okay.
So they've put leverage funds in there, sometimes small amounts, sometimes some of the projects larger amount. Haran will speak to those.
Okay.
So that's that difference there.
All right.
So for the budget that we're funding,
Uh-huh.
it might be zero additional funds that they're putting in because they've already put in the funds that
They've already
Yeah.
invested
Yeah.
before we have suggested an award.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. That clarifies it.
I have another quick question with the change with the amended Exhibit A. Um, what is happening with the additional dollars that have come off?
So the dollars that have come off, it's $300,000.
Okay.
They're set aside. It's a minute amount compared to the $23 million that we have to spend by September 30th. If a project is in trouble, if a change order is needed and they haven't reached the cap of their funding commitment for their project, we could use them for those purposes. For that dollar amount, we're looking at probably, we could do many things with it. It might be some area-wide services that we could use the funds for, or probably for nothing else by March or April, May, we might repurpose those funds, turn them over to the city.
Thank you.
Director McBride has a question.
Thank you, Laura. Two things. One, Lorna, I just want to clarify that the September 30 deadline is an internal city deadline, not an external ARPA deadline, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so we'll have to deal with that piece if we have to at a later date. But I did want to clarify because there's a lot of confusion as to what is and is not a deadline. So thank you for that. And second, do we need to amend this resolution given the updated Exhibit A that was handed out? And that's not a question for Lorna, that's a question for someone else in the room.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we will need to, if the board chooses to adopt the amended resolution and this resolution overall, we will need to have two motions. One to amend the resolution incorporating the amended Exhibit A, and a second motion to adopt the amended motion or amended
Thank you,
resolution.
Olivia. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Sure.
Any other questions for Lorna?
Hearing none, I will then send to you Corinne Hakes, who is our senior commercial and housing development analyst and the project manager for the major projects. So there were 3 from round 1 that we're requesting increased funding and 7 new ones from round 2.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. I am Corinne Hanks. I'm going to start with going over the 3 applicants who were requesting an award increase. And then I'll go into the 7 round 2 applicants that we're hoping that you guys approve awards that we're recommending. So first up is the French Fry Factory. Funding request will support the continued development of its mixed-use project located at 4100 and 4108 St. Louis Avenue and 2825 Sarah Avenue across the street from the Sarah Lou Building. This project will include the French Fry Factory restaurant, commercial space, office use, and residential units to contribute to the corridor revitalization and small business growth. During the development process, the applicant was required to relocate from its former North Grand address to the current address at St. Louis Avenue and Sarah. And this was due to the property owner declining to meet the city's title insurance requirements, creating a compliance barrier outside of the applicant's control, of course. To avoid further delays and ensure long-term project feasibility, the owners pivoted to require those addresses as Sarah and St. Louis Avenue to maintain full ownership and then execute the compliance requirements. And so closing requirements could be met without further roadblocks. So the relocation and acquisition resulted in additional costs that were not anticipated in the original budget project, increasing the recommended award from 100,000 to 250,000 that will help close the resulting funding gap, stabilize the capital stack, and allow the project to proceed on schedule. I have reviewed their updated scope of work, their financial documentations. So we recommend a funding increase of $150,000 to support the project timely completion. Okay, next, we have Northside. Yes.
That increased award amount says 100,000. I think you just said 150,000.
It says it on your overview paper.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. So their original, so let me clarify that. Their original request was $100,000 and we want to increase it by another 150, bringing it to $250,000 is our recommended award request. And I'm sorry about that.
So then that we need to modify
The exhibit.
your exhibit.
Oh, it's on the exhibit.
If you look in the far right,
Yeah. Is that right?
the increased amount indicates 100,000 in the far.
Yeah, but the last column does says 100,000, should say 150.
250.
Yeah, it should say 150 because their original request was 100,000.
Yeah, unless that,
That's correct.
unless that column is supposed to be original amount. So I don't know. There's just an inconsistency there.
I'm not looking at it. Is there a typo?
We need to amend anyway, so we'll just make that part of the amendment.
Yeah, it should be amended. So the new award amount is correct. 250 is what we're recommending and requesting for you guys to approve. And then that last column, increased award amount should be 150,000.
Clarification.
Any more questions about French Fry Factory? Okay, I'm gonna move on to the Northside Youth and Senior Services Center. Their funding request will support phase one of its intergenerational facility project located at 4159 Maffitt Avenue. The project will renovate and activate a long-standing community asset to expand youth programming, senior services, and shared community space in North St. Louis. The applicant has made meaningful progress toward project readiness. However, the current capital stack includes 250,000 community development block grant request that is subject to a federal environmental review requirements. Completion of the CDBG environmental review would result in an estimated 3-month delay, which would jeopardize the project's ability to meet the September 2026 expenditure deadline. Increasing the recommended NSDL grant award from 1 million to 1.25, 1,250,000 would allow the applicant to remove or rescind the CDBG request, eliminating the associated environmental review delay and enabling the project to proceed on schedule. Staff has reviewed the updated scope of work, financial information, and we recommend the $250,000 increase to maintain project momentum, and ensure timely completion. Any questions? Okay, Young Voices with Action is the last applicant we're requesting an increase from prior approval. Young Voices with Action funding request will support phase one of its Wellston Loop mixed-use development located at 5949 and 5955 Martin Luther King Drive. The project will redevelop a historic community anchored site to deliver affordable housing and activate ground floor commercial space that supports small business growth, and economic development in North St. Louis. Young Voices with Action has secured strong financial commitments, but continues to face remaining funding gap. Without additional gap funding, the City of St. Louis Community Development Administration, CDA, would be required to withdraw its committed funding, jeopardizing the viability of Phase 1. To address this shortfall, St. Louis Community Credit Union has indicated its willingness to increase its commitment by an additional $700,000, bringing its total commitment of St. Louis Community Credit Union to $4.7 million, contingent on the NSDL grant increasing its recommended award from $1.5 million to $2 million. And they have already sent us that commitment letter for the additional $700,000. So this total project cost is $13,009,138. After a full review of their financial documentations, commitment letters, we are recommending the $500,000 increase for a total recommended award for this project to be $2 million. Any questions? Okay. So now I'm going to move into our round 2 applicants.
And can you,
yes.
being that Central West End endoscopy is on here, could you speak to that? Okay, okay, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Could I ask a question? I'm sorry to jump in here and backtrack a little bit. North side,
Mm-hmm.
is 4155, has that been acquired? 4155 Maffett?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. 4159 method.
4155.
Which address is that? Is that the?
I'm looking at the note on here that it says that that particular address was not acquired as of 7/25. So I'm wondering if that's just a hangover note in there and if it subsequently has been acquired and there's site control for that?
I don't want to speak out of terms. So is that the address of where they're located right now?
No, that was part of the project. We'll have to check to see. I think it is a leftover note, but they do have an option with LRA to acquire it, so.
Yep.
I've been waiting for the funds to be approved to do that.
So hopefully, yeah, that answers your question, and that all of the required properties for the project have been acquired.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Corinne, one question on the round ones. Looking at the site visit dates, and I remember, when these were approved, and they were quite some time ago. I just think it's prudent for us, especially with our fiduciary duty, to look at how long it takes to get these projects to a point where they can get financed and started. So whatever SLDC can continue to do to support these owners who are taking the risk and investing into their businesses to be successful. This 7-month timeframe, I know we don't have to be done with the whole projects by September, but just the permitting, the approvals, the loans, looking at the actual costs with all the budgets, it's complicated and it takes a long time. So I just want to make a general comment on that.
Yes, I agree. And that's why we changed our strategy for the round 2s, making sure all of those things you mentioned were in place. And then we brought them to the board. So you in a much better position than we did with the round 1 ones. So, yeah, I totally agree. So the next 7 applicants again are the round 2. And it should go much quicker. Just a snapshot of what you already know about them. Upsilon Omega Foundation. Funding request will support Phase 1 of its cross-generational community facility located at 3900 Goodfellow. The project will renovate and activate a much-needed, currently underutilized staple in the community to provide youth programming, senior services, and general community space for North St. Louis. This total project cost is $1 million. And this is one of the projects with no additional capital committed. So we have reviewed their eligibility scoring, and we are recommending $1 million for this project. It's a lot of numbers going around. Any questions about them? Okay. Next is Colors Learning Center. Funding request will support the renovation and expansion of its early childhood education facility. This is located at 4415 Margaretta Avenue. This project represents a total investment of $5.7 million, including a $3.7 million funding commitment from Equinox Capital Partners. The expansion increases access to quality and affordable childcare services in North St. Louis, addressing a critical workforce and community need. After review of their eligibility, their financial documentations, the scoring criteria, we are recommending an award of $2 million. Any questions? Next, we have Mission St. Louis. Their funding request will support renovations at 3030 North Grand Boulevard. A key component of the project involves repairing and extending the parking lot of both Mission St. Louis and Tri-Union AME Church to create additional secure parking spaces that will benefit the organizations and the surrounding community. The total project cost is $1.35 million with a capital investment of $350,000 from Missouri Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development. Their investment is due to their plans to deliver workforce development, reentry support, and community programming services. Again, based on their scoring, their project readiness, we recommend a conditional award of $1 million. Next, we have Catalyst STL LLC is requesting funding to support redevelopment at 2953 Dr. Martin Luther King to address disinvestment and severe lack of move-in-ready business space in the area. I personally completed a site visit for this location, and I was extremely impressed with the amount of work completed by Sampson and his team. He has intentionally held off from renovating the exterior to prevent break-ins. Once you walk inside, you forget about the area that you're in. When he sent me pictures prior to attending the site visit, when I pulled up outside, I was like, okay, are these pictures AI? But once you walk in, I can tell you they absolutely are not. The pictures didn't do his work justice. The total project cost of this project is $1.3 million. Mixed-use investments focus on commercial activation and economic revitalization along MLK corridor. Sampson has $300,000 of his own funding leveraged on this project. And so again, the project eligibility scoring has been tracked, and we are recommending $1 million for this project.
Is the 1 million to bring the exterior back up to
Yes.
that's what it's, okay, thank you.
Any more questions on Catalyst? Okay, we're almost to the end. Bowen Barber and Beauty Supply. Funding request will support the redevelopment in 1124 North Kings Highway to expand and modernize the existing commercial space to support business growth. These improvements will enhance visibility, accessibility, and appearance on the North King Highway corridor. The total project cost is $2,190,861, which includes a funding commitment from Lindell Bank and a SBA loan, including their own $400,000 capital to this project. Staff has reviewed their documentation for financial commitments, and we are recommending an award of $750,000. Any questions on Bowen Barber? Okay, we got two more to go. Lee's Family Laundry is requesting funding to support improvements and expansion at 3316 Union Boulevard to stabilize and modernize the facility to address an aging infrastructure. This allows them to become more reliable to a community heavily reliant on and dependent on their services. The total project cost is $500,000. There are no other leverage funds for this project, and we are recommending a conditional award of $500,000 for this project. Any questions? Okay, lastly, but of course not least, we have Sigma Legacy Foundation. Their funding request supports redevelopment at 3035 Bell Avenue to restore and activate the historic George Washington Carver House. The renovations will complete interior and exterior improvements to transform the structure to support programs like STEM, workforce development, and health screenings. The foundation has already completed significant stabilization efforts, halting further dilapidation. The total project cost is $600,000. With no other capital investment at this time, we have reviewed the readiness, the criteria, and we are recommending a conditional award of $600,000. So that concludes my presentations for the 10 applicants. Before I step away, do you have any other questions for me? Thank you for your time and your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Good morning. I'm Jacqueline Robertson. I am the project manager or the analyst for the facade projects. For the round one, we have Central West End Endoscopy. We recommend an award of $100,000. This business is owned by Dr. Damon Kleins. Central West End Endoscopy funding request will support renovations for a new physician's office to offer colonoscopy services at 4510. I know your paperwork says 4501, but it's actually 4510 Delmar. This project will consist of signage, camera and security, interior and exterior, updated heating and cooling system, landscaping. Dr. Klein has also personally invested funds into the project at this location. It will offer services to promote the well-being of people in the surrounding communities, mitigate the overall burden of healthcare expenditures. The center will perform fiber optic endoscopic procedures such as screening for colonoscopies on the surgical side and on the clinical consultation for digestive and liver disease on our clinic and on their clinic side, which is I omitted to leave this off, I'm sorry, but just in case, there's another part to the building, which is Gateway Digestive and Liver Specialist LLC, which is a separate entity, but also owned by Dr. Kleins at the same property. So that concludes round one.
And I just want to
Sure.
clarify one thing. Was this a new award amount or an incremental over one that was previously suggested or?
No, this one was never presented.
Oh,
So this is the first time it's been presented and requested for funding, approval
okay,
for funding.
I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. But he was in the original one. We were
Yeah, I
working through the
remember
process.
seeing
Yes.
him. Yes.
So we
thank you.
finally concluded that with him. Yes. Moving to round two. The Renaissance Revitalization Community Development Corporation, we're recommending an award of $100,000. This is a not-for-profit organization. The building is owned by St. Paul AME Church. The Renaissance Revitalization CDC Community Development Corporation funding request will support repairs and improvements for the business located at 1260 Hamilton Avenue. This project will consist of repairing and stabilizing the retaining wall, repair the parking lot, tuck pointing, and interior painting. The Renaissance Revitalization Community Development Corporation provides services which support our connection with the surrounding community that consists of food pantry, summer camp, after-school program, a 40-year-old national model program entitled St. Paul Saturdays, designed to encourage, enrich, and enlighten boys and our youth freedom school. These improvements will stabilize the center grounds we provide services at. Any questions? Moving on, we have Tough Enough Construction. We recommend an award of $100,000. Owner is Mario Miller. Tough Enough Construction funding request will support improvements and repairs for the business located at 4403 Dr. Martin Luther King. This project will consist of new fencing, new asphalt, camera security system, overhead door, Tough Enough Construction provides roof repair masonry to residents and commercial businesses. The improvements and repairs would allow the business to offer job opportunities to experience and train employees from the local community, enhance the interior office space to provide a location for administrative work and training. Next, we have St. Louis Metal and Recycling. We recommend an award of $23,312. The owners are James Simmons and Rhonda Bradscombe. St. Louis Metal and Recycling funding request will support improvements for the business located at 1800 North Vandervender. This project will consist of replacement of the new heating and cooling system, exterior painting. St. Louis Metal and Recycling business operation model involves various stages, including the collection, processing, sale of scrap metal, ferrous and non-ferrous. The improvements will boost safety, security during hot and cold temperatures. The updated painting will attract more customers. Any questions? Okay, next we have St. Gabriel Clinic. We recommend an award of $100,000. This is also a not-for-profit. The doctor that is overseeing and on site there is Dr. Daniel Beckel. St. Gabriel Clinic funding request will support renovations, improvements for the clinic located at 6113 Ridge Avenue. This project will consist of new roofing, electrical, ADA doors. I had to be a little humor in here. Raised toilets, which is a squatty potty, sorry. Handrails, painting, interior, exterior, stabilized second floor decking, tuck pointing, security and camera system, new ventilation, asphalt and a driveway. St. Gabriel Clinic currently operates as an urgent care clinic on the first floor for non-life-threatening medical care, treatment for minor injuries and illnesses, vaccines, physical and x-rays. The much-needed renovation improvements will allow the clinic to continue to provide quality care to its patients and attract new customers. Just for you, this business is located in Wellston, so lack of having that service will be something that will be able to continue for them to be able to attract new residents, especially since they had the new houses built over in Wellston. So having this clinic, I think, will be a plus for that neighborhood. Next, we have Unity for Life Community Outreach Center. Recommended award is $100,000. This is also a not-for-profit organization. Latrice Robinson is the executive director. Unity for Life Community Outreach Center funding requests will support improvements and repairs for the business located at 5300 Union Boulevard. This project will consist of new asphalt, tuck pointing, roofing, and gutters. Unity for Life Community Outreach Center provides meeting spaces for public meetings where residents can come and learn about the proposed projects, ask questions, and provide feedback. Food pantry, teaching technology, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. These improvements will attract more residents to partake in the services being offered and look to implement additional services. Next, we have Freddie Lee Gourmet Sauce. We recommend an award of $99,100. This business is owned by Freddie and Deborah James. Freddie Lee's Gourmet Sauce funding request will support renovations for a food manufacturing company at 1912 Carr Street, which is also the strip mall that consists of 6 units of commercial and rental space and manufacturing facility. This project will consist of new roof, heating and cooling system, replace entry doors, and electrical. Freddie Lee's Gourmet Sauce manufactures sauces under the name of Freddie Lee's American Gourmet Sauce and Freddie Lee's Ghetto Sauce. Both are sold local, regional, and national stores. Their products are distributed in 1,500 locations across the USA. The renovations will attract new businesses and customers to the area. Moving on, we have Nix O'Fallon with a recommended award of $100,000. The owner is James Nix. Nix O'Fallon funding request will support renovations, improvements for the business at 5261 Delmar Boulevard, which is also another strip mall. This project will consist of tuck pointing, lintel removal, and installation. Nick O'Fallon provides space for small for small startup businesses, adult daycare, child care center, event center, bar, workforce development, and 17 service-related businesses. The renovation and improvements will attract new business, will allow community members the access for rental of space for private events and pop-up shops. Next, we have House of Pays with the recommended award of $100,000. Also a not-for-profit organization, Stanford Cooper is the director. House of Pays funding request will support renovations and improvements for the not-for-profit organization at 5057 Ridge Avenue. This project will consist of new roof, window, parking lot repairs and paving, electrical for interior and exterior. House of Pays provides counseling and preventative services to children and adolescents with developmental disability, autism, and behavior concerns in the St. Louis metropolitan area. The North St. Louis grant will provide stabilization and much-needed repairs that will afford the opportunity to continue providing services to the current clients and attract others who will benefit from the services provided by House of Pays. Next, we have Legacy Continues, LLC, doing business as Ronald L. Jones Funeral Chapel with a recommended award of $100,000. The owner is Vanessa Pollard. Legacy Continues funding request will support renovations, improvements for the funeral home at 2161 East Fair Avenue. This project will consist of parking lot signage, replacement of gutters, driveway concrete repairs, windows, and generator. Legacy Continues LLC provides compassionate professional funeral services, fostering community cohesion by offering a collective space of mourning, celebration, and unity. The repairs, improvements would allow us to be accessible for those who require walkers, wheelchairs, electric scooters. The generator will allow us to fully operate and be accessible during bad weather, power outage, and maintain the minimum temperature of 40 degrees in our morgue cooler to prevent decomposition. Next, we have Guardian Angels Settlement Association with a recommended award of $28,000. This is also a not-for-profit organization. Matt Leduc is the contact. I'm sorry, I don't remember his position offhand. Guardian Angels funding request will support renovations for the Guardian Angels Early Childhood Education Program at 1127 North Vandervender. This project will consist of new signage, heating and cooling system, camera security system, and outside storage. Guardian Angels program serves under-resourced children and families, ensuring that children have a strong foundation and are kindergarten ready upon graduation. The needed repairs would allow the center to open 2 classrooms that are currently empty. The center currently has slots for 132 children. The center is licensed for 177 children. The repairs will attract more children and families to utilize the services offered by Guardian Angels. And lastly, we have G&M Investors LLC. We recommended with a recommended award of $100,000. The owner is Rodney Scales. G&M Investors funding request will support renovations of the BP gas station at 500 Natural Bridge. That's at the Natural Bridge, at the corner of Natural Bridge and Kings Highway. This project will consist of new signage, exterior and interior painting, camera and security, interior and exterior, repair concrete, updating lighting. G&M Investors location is a gas station, convenience store that provides grocery, personal, and household items. The store also provides a platform for the purchase of cell phone and accessories. The renovations will continue to allow the business to serve the community and attract new customers. The gas station hours are 24/7. That concludes my presentations for the facade projects. Do you have any questions for me?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Is the site visit dates on Exhibit A
Yes, ma'am.
are somewhat dated. Has there been some follow-up to a subsequent site visits?
Yes, actually, we did site visits for all the applicants after the tornado to confirm that they were still operating or if some had closed due to that. So all of these have been visited.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any additional questions?
Maybe one just a question between the community enhancement and the facade awards. Are there different procurement or other requirements between those two programs for this funding? I know the facade grants have always been pretty tough to get approved because of the requirements for CDA, CDBG money, but
So the guidelines were the same. We followed the same guidelines for both projects, but the facade had a cap at $100,000. If their budget is over, they have to provide additional funding sources. So there are some that will that have provided their business bank statements to cover any overage.
okay.
And then I want to, with the larger projects, they, I mean, with,
I was hoping you didn't have to get up, but thank you.
with the larger projects, they come in with their own general contractors, right?
Right.
With the smaller ones, we required 2 bids because they might have 4 or 5 different scopes of works. They're replacing a window, they're paving a parking lot. So for those, we require 2 bids, review them, and require them to go with the lowest qualified bidder.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that because I thought back in the day it was like you had to get 3 or 4 bids and the scopes of work were complicated. So thank you for that.
Any other questions? All righty, thank you. Thank you.
So I think for the amendment's sake, right? So we have the Exhibit A that we're amending. Included in that amendment is the correction to $150,000 as the increase for the French fry factory and the correction of the date for the Central West End building to 4510 Del Mar, and it is located in Ward 9.
Any other questions?
Just one comment or maybe a request. You know, we approve these projects and then we don't really hear much afterwards, and especially with the timeline. Could we get maybe an update in 4 or 5 months to see where these projects are in terms of the deadline?
Absolutely. So with this approval today, there is an extensive document checklist form that these projects, we've got all their documents listed that we've received those documents. The next stage is for all these projects to go to our legal department where they will contact the businesses and begin the closing process. And we absolutely will keep you informed of their progress.
Thank you.
I just have one question just to get the numbers all in line for me. I wasn't around for some of this last year. The orange number on here, the 8,754,12 is the amount of new recommended awards that you're asking for us to approve today.
Correct.
And that will increase to 8.8 because the 100 is going to 150. So you'll be looking for 8.8. Okay, thank you. And then if I were to go to the middle where it says new award amount and I sum all that down, the total award for these programs is 11.4. Is that sound correct?
For round 1 and round 2?
Yes,
Total.
total.
So we do have a Excel spreadsheet. I could bring it up at this time, or I could bring it up after you take the vote, or if we want to bring it up now.
Okay.
That summarizes all of our awards for the Community Enhancement and Facade Improvement Program.
Okay.
And so here's the sheet. Sharon,
you.
could you provide sheets to the board members? And so for the new board members, the round 1 awards were conditional awards. And we went back and then vetted the businesses, which some of them took up until this point today.
Sure.
Round 2 awards, the businesses were vetted and we're bringing them before you for the first time today. So initially, the round 1 awards were 23 million dollars, a little over $23 million. And there were 45 businesses that were awarded funds between community enhancement and facade improvement. So of those round one of community enhancement awards, there are 14 of them that are moving forward to closing and to construction. And they total $16 million, $16,167,000. Of the round one facade improvement awards, there are still 10 in the running that total $786, $86,500, for a total of round one from the initial 23 million is now $16,953,504. The next group of awards is the round two Community Enhancement Awards, where there are 7 of them that Karan presented to you today for funding. They are $6.8 million, a little over that. Going down the sheet, round two facade, which Jackie just got through, are $950,412 for the total of round two awards, bringing it to $7,800,412. So there was the 23 million set aside for these construction awards in the program as one of the program components. So with the 16 million going forward, it freed up that additional funds, which is what we used for these round two awards. So the next section are the awards that were initially conditionally approved in round one, but have since either the applicant has withdrawn their request, or we have rescinded the conditional award.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Lorna. Okay, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26 SLDC 1064 as amended with the supplemental Exhibit A amended to revise the date for.
Chair Haas, first we would need to take up a motion to amend the resolution
Okay.
and then take up a second motion to approve the amended resolution. So that first motion would need to be a motion to amend the resolution to incorporate and reference the amended attachment A.
Okay, with the revised address.
Yes, we could say to incorporate and reference the amended attachment A, inclusive of the corrections noted by staff.
All right, wonderful. Okay,
So moved.
Second.
thank you.
Director Arnold,
Yes.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Director McBride,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonia,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye. Okay, then at this time, we like to entertain a motion to approve 26 SLD 1060 SLDC, 1064 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Director Johnson.
Director Arnold,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Director McBride, Alderwoman Sonia,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you. I'm going to, at this time, change up the agenda a little bit. And before we go into executive session, going to ask that Otis please give the director's report on the 2026 initiatives.
Okay,
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I'm going to start, though, by just acknowledging and bringing to this body again the fact that we actually lost a key member of our staff. Uh, I think many of us attended a service on January 30th where we acknowledged the life of Stacy Fowler. Stacy was a senior vice president here on staff and served many, many years here in the city. But she served almost the last 8 years with SLDC, but previous years with Slate and with other entities within the city. And as I said at her funeral, she's the kind of person that when she walked in the room, everybody was aware. The room sort of had a glow to it. She was bubbly, was one of those people that always was looking to do the right thing for the city. And so she, as many of you know, oversaw the compliance staff, the certification staff, the North Side Economic Empowerment Center, and the Business Assistance Center. And so all of those are functions that interface with the public. And it's one where you never win, but you're always there to try and serve. And that is what Stacy always did. And I think people will always acknowledge the value of her presence, and we miss her. So I wanted to be sure and acknowledge that. And if I'm going to break my norm, I'm going to ask just give her an applause, if we will. Okay, the second thing, we want to ask Dion if he could share our screen here for us. And this screen is going to have a list of those things that I call the 2026 initiatives. And I was going to mention this at our last meeting, but many of you know that I may not be around when the end of 2026 happen, but we all need to have goals. And so we set this at the beginning of the year, but we did not share it last month because, as you recall, staff was running long in their presentations. No, but I wanted to just let you know, these are the things that we have top of mind that we're looking at. And number one on that is continuing to, quote, restore confidence and predictability in the economic development process. And by that, I mean, there are a lot of people who are interacting with us to get things done, and we want more people to be involved. But there are various things that happen within the city that we just need to review, modify where we can, and improve our ability to respond. But most of all, we need to be able to interact with the developer community and the finance community by ensuring that we stick to what we have outlined the process to be. And so that's one of the things that is top of mind. The second one is creating funding vehicles for support of economic development throughout the city, but specifically in the target tornado impact area. And so a lot of those are in motion, working with a number of entities to try and make that happen. We will probably come back to you at a later date to talk about some of the funds that are being created. And most important is one that we've been working on for a long time called the Economic Transformation Fund, where we have a partnership with the Community Foundation. That one is in play. The next is interacting with the state on the Opportunity Zone designations. And so, as many of you know, there are a finite number of census tracts that will qualify, and there are even fewer that will be selected here in the city. I know our last round, we had over 85 different census tracts that were candidates, and we only ended up with 27. So even though we may have a number of census tracts that can qualify, we just need to be able to through coordination with the state, get the ones that we think are most viable. The next one is streamlining the permitting process, which is key, sort of relates to the first piece that I talked about. The one that I've talked a lot about is creating a structure for funding and oversight of the community development corporations, the CDCs that are in the city. And so I think that those are key bodies that we either need to support or create all over the city, so that they are the folks on the ground who are doing things, and folks who are who will have the credibility for other organizations to fall in on or to be able to interact with to ensure that redevelopment is occurring. It is, and I think Director Spencer always says, somebody that wakes up every day thinking about what to do in that community. And so we are hopeful that we can come up with that kind of funding stream and dedication from the city. Well, obviously, we've got to ensure that we execute and implement ARPA. We talked a lot about that today, but there are a lot of other things that we are involved in. Overall, the North Side Economic grants are like $37 million of $108 million that we, St. Louis Development Corporation, are involved in. And so we are steadily trying to make sure all of that is in fact meeting all of its guidelines and will meet the date. And for that, I want to thank the entire St. Louis Development staff, because every corner of this organization is trying to get all of that done. The timelines and the requirements are onerous, but people are out there every day trying to make that happen. And with the fact that we own property is an asset for us, in the sense that we own these properties and we can use them to help facilitate redevelopment throughout the city. And so we just need to be more proactive, working with Director Anderson and others to try and make sure that, you know, we are a positive force in getting those properties moved. We are focused now more on business corridors. So we are taking and assigning our managers to focus on individual corridors throughout the city. And so Natural Bridge, MLK, Delmar will all have folks that are dedicated, that will be dedicated to work with the different organizations that are working through there. And what this does, it does not negate interacting with the neighborhood organizations, but it just means that for our focus is on business development. And so it's a means of understanding the number of businesses that are located across those corridors. And we always have to remember that the heart of this region is really our downtown. And so we are working with those that are focused on that, the new entity, Downtown Forward, GSL, and the entire GSL board, and all of those entities. We just need to be sure that we're working to try and facilitate the rekindling of what we once knew as a proud downtown. And we are working with the planning department and zoning departments to try and update the zoning codes. That's underway. We're just a supporter. They're doing all of the heavy lift, but we just want to make sure that gets done. And in essence, that helps us get redevelopment done. Or it helps developers have a better sense of what can happen. Okay. So that is my update. Any questions?
I do have a question. Otis, could you talk a little bit about the Main Street organizations?
Sure. We have 3 here in the city. And if I credit a lot of the energy that is on Delmar, particularly between Union and Kings Highway, to the Delmar Main Street. But that organization is just full of energy, but likewise the one at Dutchtown. So we have Delmar Main Street, we have Dutchtown Main Street, and we have Laclede Main Street. the goal here is to make sure they have the leaders and maintain those leaders. Unfortunately, we lost the leader for Laclede, passed away this past summer. But they will find another leader there. But the other two organizations are thriving. And in fact, today I'm going to celebrate the work of Dutchtown with them at a lunch. A couple of weeks ago, we did the same thing with the folks at Delmar, but they are energy that we don't have in a lot of other places. So they fall under the umbrella of the Missouri Main Street program.
Thank you.
And we follow those guidelines.
Thanks. That's very helpful. Any other questions? Okay, at this time, motion to move.
Yes, Chair Hawes, we would need a motion to move into executive session pursuant to Missouri Statute 610021, subsections 1, 3, 12, and 13.
So moved.
Second.
Director Arnold,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Director McBride,
Right.
Alderwoman Saunier, Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young, and Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you, Lauren.
Okay, are we going to go in another room for?
I think we are.
Yeah, we're going to around the corner,
Okay.
room
all right.
271. See y'all there. Director McBride.
Yes.
Okay, I saw him say aye. Alderwoman Saunier,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye. Okay, our next regular board meeting is scheduled for March 19th, 2026. With no further business on the agenda, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Adjourned. Thank you.
We promise not to have a full agenda as this one, so we want to go through all the individual lines.
Be careful, Otis.
Second.